Good evening, my friends. Kevin the Comic Doctor coming to you with another live CGC unboxing. And tonight, my friends, we're going to talk a bit. Everyone's talking about it, right? We're going to talk a bit about Superman, James Gunn's new film. I'll let you know what a regular old Joe like me thinks about it. And, we'll talk about that in just a few moments. Guys, I'm Kevin the Comic Doctor. I'm a comic book presser. I'm also an authorized CGC dealer located, NPSA dealer, mind you, located way up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And like I said, this is my Tuesday night live unboxing. Yes, you know what? I'm trying different times. I did an afternoon show last week. I did a 7 o'clock show today. You did 8 o'clock. I have the flexibility of doing that now because, hell, it's summertime. And, so here I am. There'll be no show next week, my friends. I'll be out of town next Tuesday. Actually, another couple of boxes are on the way. I may do a pre-recorded show for next Tuesday just so you guys have something to watch. And like I said, we do so many damn books. I got books coming back all the time. I'm not even sure what's in this box today. I grabbed them really quickly. And I kind of threw them into another box. So I'm not sure exactly what is here. But why don't we get started and see? Any news to tell you other than that? Oh, yeah, I'm going to be at, I'm not going to be, but my witnesses are going to be at the Fan Expo. If you have comic books or magazines or what have you that you want signed at Fan Expo Toronto at the end of August, I need your books in my hand by August the 7th. I am not going to physically be at the convention, but I'll have witnesses there. I need to prepare all books beforehand. So if you want me to take care of that, you may like the service we provide. We did it last year. People seem to be happy with it. We do not press and clean the books until they are signed. So once the books are signed, they come back to the shop. We work on them slowly as per usual. Our attention to detail is second to none. And then once that we are satisfied with the press and clean job that your books receive, off to CGC they go. So if you want that service, again, we just need your books in hand by August the 7th, and not August the 9th or the 8th, but the 7th. Okay. Anyways, other than that, let's see what kind of comics are in. Halfway through, we'll stop and we'll talk about Superman. Hey, if you want to come on here and talk about Superman with me, you know what I'll do? I will put, how do I do this? I will put, there we go. If you want to come, if you've got a webcam and a microphone, and you want to come and shoot the breeze about Superman with me, here, I'll give you the link, and you guys can come on at your leisure if you want to. There you go. It's in the chat if you want to come in. If you come in now, I won't put you in right away, but you can hang out in the waiting room, and then I'll put you on to debate with me because I'll give you a hint. I did not love it. Dan, you hear that? I did not love it. Anyways, here we go. Let's look at some comic books. Here we go. So first off, what do we got? We have... Oh, I love 9/8 to start the show. I always love 9/8 to start the show. We've got a 9/8 copy of Voltron number 1 in a 9.8. Nothing wrong with that. The thumbnail today was for Black Cat, and here it is, a 9.2 copy of ASM 194. And that's at a 9.2. It's a newsstand edition. There you go. We have an ASM 298, I believe. Nope, 299. I always get those two mixed up. In a 9.6. Right there. We also have a Man Bat. Number 1 in a 7.0. We have a Sergeant Rock number 302 and a 9.0. Hey, Brouhaha, how's it going? Bram's in the house. How you doing, Johnny? How are you? We have an Amazing Spider-Man 346 and a 9.8. We have an ASM 233 Tarantula appearance, Canada Price variant in a 9.6. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Oh, another ASM 194. This is not a new. This is a direct edition in a 9.6. So we had two of them in there. I thought we only had the one, but we actually have two. Nice. Okay. What else we have? We've got a magazine. We have a WrestleMania official souvenir edition from Toronto. Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan in a 9.2. The second one of these that's come through the shop in the last probably 3 or 4 weeks. If any of you guys collect, Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan stuff, I have a really cool original standee, one of those little cardboard standees, brand new at the shop from this actual event. So if you want something like that to set off your collection, give me a holler. It's for sale at the shop as we speak. All right, back to some comics. We also have Marvel Team Up 141, a newsstand edition in a 9.2. We have an ASM 253 in a 9.8. What else? We also have I've been seeing this come in a little more lately, which is strange. Labyrinth, the movie, number 3 in a 9.6 with David Bowie in the front cover there. Then we have a number 1 also in a 9.6. We have a Tomb of Dracula 10 in a 9.0. First appearance of Blade, the Vampire Slayer. Werewolf by Night 32 in an 8.5. Nice grade on a first appearance of Moon Knight. Sonic the Hedgehog, number 1 in a 9.8. All the way from 1993. Wow. I was still in university at this time. Labyrinth number 2 in a 9.8. Epitaphs from the Abyss, number 1. Rob Sacchetto authenticated autograph, number 1 in a 9.6. Right there. We have an amazing Spider-Man 171 with Nova and a 9.2. Get that into focus there more. Come on. There we go. The rest are all JSA, guys. So if you're into like signatures, we've got a Canada Day Harlequin, it looks like. Nathan Xerxes, authenticated autograph, the Naughty Edition. And a 9.6. Oh, Canada. And then we have Batman White Knight number 2. Sean Murphy authenticated autograph. We actually did a little sketch as well, too, in a 9.4. There you go. Batman Rebirth number 1. Really nice. Who's the cover? Tyler Kirkham cover and signed by Tyler Kirkham in a 9.8. Very nice book. Very cool. Very, very cool. And then The Walking Dead, number 192, Rob Sacchetto, autograph again in a 9.6. He actually, like, by the way, guys, that's like a drawn. Like they and sketch on cover. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome sketch. Check that out. Pretty sick. The next ones the other two are really cool too. These are all sketches. Street Fighter. Like, why is this only a 9.4? Like, give me a break. Well, there's some stuff on the back, probably from the drawing. I mean, there's paint and stuff, but whatever. Anyway, Street Fighter, another Sacchetto autograph and sketch in a 9.4. Very cool. And last but not least, only one more, guys. How you doing, Mike? Good to see you, bud. Deceased Dead Planet #1. Another awesome Wonder Woman, deceased kind of sketch here. Very cool. Also in a 9.6. Yeah, there you go, guys. That's all the books. The moderns. I have another box or two on the way back from CGC. Now we can relax and talk a little bit about Superman. Again, if you want to come on here and chat with me, the link is right there. I'll put it up again in case. If you want to come on here and talk live with me about this movie, if you got a review you'd like to share, I'd love to hear from you. This is what I think of the film. Again, guys, I'm always very excited when a superhero-related film is coming out. And it was no different for Superman. I was very happy when I started seeing the Rotten Tomato scores being so high. And so, I usually, it's usually pretty accurate when they go on there and give a good grade. Anyways, the movie was fine. It was an all right film. I just wasn't as excited, I think, as Dan. And he said right here, one of the first things he said was, DC is back. Superman was a great movie. And anyone who says otherwise is lying to themselves. I just found it kind of mid. I didn't find it amazing. I was happy with the casting overall. I had no complaints with any of the casting. I just found the film to be just kind of mid. It was just kind of there. I didn't leave the theater going, oh, whippy, whippy, wappy do. I was just like, okay, another superhero film. There was nothing special about this movie whatsoever at all. And by the way, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. If you disagree with me, I'd love to hear you. I just felt, I harken back to 1978 Superman, Donner Superman, and coming home and being so excited. And even to this day, when I hear the music or watch scenes from the movie, I'm uplifted. Didn't have that at all. I wanted to feel that way in this film. I just didn't. There's a part, I'm going to talk a little spoilers here. There's a part in the film where he was talking to Lois Lane. He's being interviewed, and he talks about how he went and stopped this war. And then took the leader of the other, the faction, the overbearing faction, and took him out to the desert and kind of threatened him. I want to see that. Like, why are you telling me this? I want to see this. I didn't have any interest in the whole Lex Luthor other plot where he's trying to, going into different dimensions and all that. I just, that kind of shit kind of loses me. I wasn't a super huge fan of Man of Steel, but the gravitas of Man of Steel and the seriousness of Man of Steel, there is something to be said about that. That movie had problems. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it was, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to say it's better than the new movie or not. If Zack Snyder was better. I had problems with Man of Steel, but I just found it to be a little more heavy. It was a heavier film. When you leave the theater after Man of Steel, you feel like you've really been through something. This film was just kind of fluffy. It was fluffy. I didn't mind the dog. Some of the actors that stood out to me. I liked Lois Lane, Brosnahan. I liked her in the role. What's his face who plays Green Lantern? He was fine too. More of him would have been nice. Hawkgirl was a throwaway character. She didn't even say much, and I didn't like the way she actually made a hawk sound when she came down. Like, rah! It was like, that was pretty corny, I thought. But she was pretty useless. She really didn't do anything at all. Like, she just was there, like a background character. Metamorpho was fine. Again, very simple. Mr. Terrific was terrific, I suppose. He was fine as well. I would have preferred them to focus in on one or two of those heroes and just kind of forget the other ones because they were just kind of, nah. Lex Luthor was good. I don't know. I just found the film kind of, it was just there. It was a mid-type film. I just did not, it was not exciting whatsoever. The music I had a real problem with too. They keep using that side bit from John Williams' score. I like that they're using John Williams' music. Don't get me wrong. I love that. And I was excited when I heard they were doing this. But they keep using that part. They're not using the main theme. Bum, 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 bum. They use it once or twice, and they didn't use it enough. They kept using the one we hear in the trailers all the time. And that, to me, is not the part of the score that's the most powerful part. Anyways, I thought that was a misstep. I thought James Gunn kind of played it safe with this film. It was a very safe kind of film. He talked about risks. I heard him in an interview talking. There was no risk taking in this movie, I didn't think. Being colorful. Okay, that's the way I think everyone expected it to be. I don't know. I didn't love it. It was just there. What do you guys think? Dave, one of Whatnot giveaway. Good to hear it. Dannon says, I think Superman will be better than FF4. Then I'm really sad if that's the case, because I actually I'm not very excited for FF4. I'm losing all my excitement for these films. I just am. I just know you're right with that reaction. Are you being facetious or you agree with me? Mid movie, you believe that as well? Did you see it? But that's exactly what it was, a mid movie. Anthony says, I saw it twice now. I'm going to go Saturday again. Great movie. Okay, well, I'm glad you're listen. Hey man, if you and Dan love it, I'm happy for you. I'm glad. It didn't hit for me. Now my son Jack loved it. His friends all loved it. My daughter and myself, even my wife, were just kind of like, yeah, it was a fun night to the movies. Not talking about it anymore. I'm not itching to go see it 2 or 3 or 4 times. That's for damn sure. I won't go see it again now. I'll see it when it comes out on the streaming. But yeah, again, I did not hate the film, but it's just I don't think it was as impactful as it needed to be. Cram Refo, there we go, says Man of Steel was hardcore Superman. Look at Man of Steel had its issues too. I know we've all seen the origin story over and over and over again. I get it. Maybe we need to see a little bit more of his Clark Kentness in this before he got to. Maybe we don't. I don't know. My favorite part of the Richard Donner Superman is the origin, right? And probably is for most people. Him going to school and him not playing football, and him racing against the train and jumping in front of it, and him going up to the Arctic, and that scene where let me find it. I'm gonna find it right now. I'm probably gonna get demonetized for this, but this part of Superman here, was the best. I won't put the volume up. Where is it? Richard Donner, Superman, Superman emerges. This is the best. I love this. Where is it? If I can find it. Maybe I won't be able to find it. Superman. Even that's the best too. Even this part here. Where did my videos go? Here it is. Right here. Share screen. Watch me. I'm gonna get demonetized now. Oh well, I don't care. Look, like this scene here, when he's gonna save Lois and the music starts up. This building, Love it. Unbelievable. Excuse me. You can't beat it. And also the first scene where he actually is on in the Fortress of Solitude, and he dons the costume for the first time and he flies off. I mean, that's amazing. That's what I want to see. And this movie just didn't have that. It didn't have that power, that gravitas that we needed. And I'm going to tell you, I actually, there's a couple things about the character I did like. I did like how he was trying to keep that, what do you call it? That big creature they were fighting there. He wanted to save it. He didn't want to kill it. He wanted to, he wanted to protect it. And Guy Gardner kills it, but he's trying to find a safe way to relocate him. So he's saving the squirrel. I like that little bit. I thought that was kind of cute and fun. I like that part of it, but I don't know. I thought the music wasn't used enough. They should have used that. Music's very powerful. I think people discount how powerful that music theme, that theme from the John Williams theme is, and they didn't place it properly in this film, I don't think. And yeah. Man of Steel was darker, and when you go darker, you cut your audience in half without families and kids. That's why they went back to heartfelt. Listen, I get that. It was darker, and I think that they kind of saw the success of Dark Knight, and they kind of want to go with that seriousness. Even the tonality of the film, the look of the film, the coloring of the film, the color coding of the film was blue and cold. It does not ring true as Superman. You're right. That said, there was some stuff going on. There's some moments in Man of Steel, like between Clark Kent and Jonathan Kent, that I absolutely love. Hey, and back to the original one, when Jonathan Kent dies in the 1978 one, it breaks your heart. There's that connection, and that was lacking in this film. There's no, I don't know, that was lacking in this film. There's nothing where I think him saving those people in the other country that were better, that would have been, I think, very powerful to see, and we didn't see that. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, what else, you guys? The dog laughing. I didn't mind. The dog was there, whatever. Didn't mind the dog. He wasn't in it too much. Way too many official clips of FF4 online, and it's all talking. Yeah. FF4 is just, I'm not excited to see it anymore. I really think, look, ever since that, I don't care that the Silver Surfer is not, Norrin Rad, Shia LaBeouf, whatever. I think that's a mistake. Even that, when I heard that early on, that kind of put a damper on it for me. Not that I care that it's a female playing that role. My biggest qualm with that is here they are deviating once again from the story. Why are they doing this? Like, why do they insist on doing this? And again, I don't think it makes a difference if the Silver Surfer is male or female, but I want it to be true to the comics. That's it. And when they start doing this kind of nonsense, it drives me crazy. Evidently, the new season of Peacemaker is really going to kick off the new universe, which is exciting as a DC fan. Yeah, I liked Peacemaker. Last I'll say is DC Studios has been in such a mess the last 7 years. I think this is a step in the right direction. You're right. I just don't think this thing is as great as everyone's saying it is. I hope it's going to get us in a new direction. But again, if all we're going to get from DC is this caliber of film, then I am not that excited about it. I mean, I'll go to them, but I'm not going to be like jumping up and down with excitement. That's for sure. Trevor's here. Hey, Doc. Good to see you. Late to the no problem. I went early today, my friend. That's probably why. We're just talking about Superman and I don't want to say dislike, and my unenthused response to it, and the more these superhero films that I see that don't hit the nail on the head, is starting to become really, for me, is starting to become very daunting for me. Again, I know everybody has different tastes and everyone's going to react different to these films. And I'm glad that Dan and others who are here are enjoying it. And my son really likes, I'm happy for that. But I just think it's just these mid movies. I don't know. I don't think I did also did not, why do we have to have Luthor in it? I just get rid of Luthor. Maybe. I don't know. Or have Luthor in the background a little more. I don't know. Look, I know it's not easy to make one of these movies. I just find it to be, I just found it to be very drab. The whole, and they even, I mean, if you want to start talking about verisimilitude, Robert Meyer Burnett always talks about verisimilitude and the reality. Is this a realistic world we're living in, right? The whole tearing apart of the universe, and then, it goes back together again. Everything's okay. That big rip in the universe is apart. Now it's all gone. It's all good. And little things like that. There's no aftermath. There's no damage, done, like, okay, so the whole earth was ripped apart. Now reality was ripped apart. Now it's back together again. The building's still standing. Okay, that's good. Little things like that drive me nuts. Someone was pointing out when Lex Luthor walked into the Fortress of Solitude, like there were like weapons and explosions going off around him, and he just walked right through it like there was nothing. And little things like that do irritate me, but again, Man of Steel, there were things that irritated me with that film as well. People complain about the Zod character, and Michael Shannon, who I thought was a pretty good Zod. Yeah, I thought he was too crazy and angry too fast. He kind of went off the deep end a little too quick. If he's a if he's a military leader that's so savvy and strong, how is he so quick to anger and quick to war? That was always an issue with me. I think it would have been much more powerful to see if him and Jor-El were actually friends, and then that severed. There was that respect they both gave each other, but there was that also, it dissipated really quick, and he just turned to anger and hatred so fast. John Sherwood said, I didn't feel Superman was very super. Yeah, I just didn't think he was all that. The actor was fine, but what they had them do was not all that fine. Even the costume was okay. I want the old S back, but again, whatever. It's only the costume. But just keep getting on. Yeah, he kept getting beat up. I wasn't fond of the two of Ultraman. I wasn't fond of that character, and I wasn't fond of the female with the nanotechnology hands and all that. She was kind of boring. I assume Ultraman is going to be sent into a different dimension and come back as Bizarro down the road or something like that. Is that what's going to happen? Maybe. I don't know. I just found those characters kind of throwaway. Oh, and talk about throwaway characters. Like, I mean, Hawk Girl is absolutely useless. Then you go to like the Daily Planet, and they're all pretty much useless except for Jimmy Olsen. So why even show, I don't know, Perry White and Kat, and then the throwaway guy from Saturday Night Live who was pretty useless too. It's like, okay. The movie really went quickly, slowing it down for a second so we get to know these people a little bit better. I always found that we get to see Superman interacting with his parents and seeing his humanity. Oh, and a big thing people were complaining about, and it didn't really bother me, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it yet or not. One of the big things people are pissed off about, my dogs are going crazy. I don't know what the hell's going on out there. What's going on out there? I think some other dogs are walking by, and mine are going mental. But everyone was really up in arms that Jor-El, played by Bradley Cooper, has this message that he gives to his son, and it basically says that, what, we're going to send you to Earth because they're all a bunch of adults, and you can overthrow the whole planet and be like an overlord and impregnate as many of the Earth women to make Krypton live again. So it was like a different spin. It didn't really bother me. Whatever, different take on it. Sure. It made Krypton seem like a very different place, and then his father wasn't as righteous, and his total departure from what Zack Snyder was trying to do with his Jor-El, right? Obviously, as showing Kal-El as kind of like a super, as a Jesus, messianic type character. That's not in this whatsoever. That didn't bother me. That whole storyline didn't really bother me. It bothered a lot of people, though. People didn't like them changing the storyline a bit, but I had something to say about that. But that didn't bug me. Again, I think I just want to see more of him as a human. I think when we see him as a human, one of the things I really liked also again about Man of Steel, when he did those little miracles, when he saved that bus of kids, him as a young man saving that busload of children when the bus goes into the creek, into the river, or when he saves all those oil workers on the rig, little things like that, showing him as a man doing these things first before we see him as Superman. I kind of dig that. And the reveal of the super suit, him learning how to fly, that's always a little bit of fun too. We don't have to have a full origin story, of course. We all know the origin of Superman. And I get the desire for filmmakers not to rehash it again. But you can have flashbacks. You can show us things a little bit about his humanity. That's why I think if this is more of a geopolitical type movie, I think that would have been kind of cool. Him helping people on the planet, rather than these kaijus coming down from that are destroying Metropolis or splitting the universe, being split in half and things like that. Him dealing with a real problem here on Earth, trying to disarm. Remember that the Quest for Peace, was that the other one, that the terrible Christopher Reeve Superman 5, the Quest for Peace, I think it was called, or number 4, and you had Superman going and disarming the entire planet from nuclear bombs. What's wrong with that? You're having him do that while Luthor is trying to sell these arms to these countries, making an enemy with Luthor in the shadows. Something like that, I think, would have been a little more interesting. Maybe for me, maybe not for kids. They want crypto dolls and what have you, and it's more colorful that way. But I think going the geopolitical route might have been a little more. At least for the first part, and then jump into the craziness of the Justice Gang and all that. Anyways, didn't hate the film, guys. Just I was really expecting a little more from this movie. I think it's a very simple film that didn't really delve deep into the character at all. And like John says, we see this guy getting beat up. He wasn't very super, and a lot of characters that were not really fleshed out. My favorite scene in the entire movie. My favorite scene in the entire movie was, and you've already seen clips of it on the. Oh, and that's another thing. Half the movie is seen on the trailers. If you watched all the trailers, the first third of the film is in those trailers. So that was a real stupid mistake, I thought. But my favorite part of this film, and you're gonna say, "What, really, Kevin?" Two favorite parts. Okay, him being interviewed by Lois Lane. I like that. I like that scene when he's telling her why he's doing what he's doing. People are going to die. Like, I like that. I like that part, that scene. And I kind of liked when whenever Guy Gardner was on scene, he had the stupid comments. And at the end, he's like helping fight this battle, and you see him do the finger to all the different combatants, like little things like I enjoyed that. The humor with Guy Gardner, I liked. And I liked the scene with just a simple scene, the dialogue between Clark Kent and Lois Lane. That's my favorite scene. Dialogue. Go, what? Really? A dialogue? Yes, it was. So call me crazy. Trevor says oversaturation could be. I don't think it's oversaturation. I think it's lack of a good writing. It's not very good writing. I think there's a big danger with James Gunn too, right? And I look back at Taika Waititi when he did Thor Ragnarok, which I absolutely freaking loved. Ragnarok. I walked away from Ragnarok. Like I said, I walked away and I was pumped. I liked that film. Only a few superhero films have really, made me feel really good after I saw that movie. I want to go back and see it again. Ragnarok was one of them. But the danger with Ragnarok was Love and Thunder, which came out after. And I think Taika Waititi was given a little too much leeway with that movie. And he leaned into his own humor, his own brand of humor, his silly humor. And that movie sucked. Love and Thunder was such a departure from Ragnarok. And I think with James Gunn, it's not Superman, it's James Gunn's Superman, right? Again, a lot of talk of his head kind of going, getting a big head. He's the savior of the superhero unit of the superhero movies. That's not a good thing. Like, come back down to earth, dude. You're not the, you're not it. You're not the only person that can do it. You're the savior of all. So that's my worry, when a director has so much freedom to do whatever he wants. And I think they were very careful with this film. They played it, I think very, very safe. They didn't go full hog James Gunn on this film. Like, it was a James Gunn film for sure, but they didn't let him go full hog. And he probably restrained himself, or he was restrained from someone else. I don't know the inner workings over there. But the more they give one of these guys the freedom like that, the more worried I get. Same thing happened even with George Lucas with Star Wars, right? People will say, from Star Wars Return of the Jedi and then to the prequels, forget about it, right? Anybody who saw the prequels are like, what the hell? That's George Lucas, after being super successful with Star Wars, having billions of dollars to spend and just having his own. No one would speak up. No one would say anything. Hey, George, this stinks. No. George, great idea. And he put it out, and that's that. Those movies suffered because there was no, I think, dialogue between him and others who were giving him honest dialogue. The problem with these filmmakers, they become so powerful and their egos become so big, and everybody around them is scared the shit of saying something to upset them or lose their position, that they don't create an honest to goodness collaborative. The collaboration is so important with these movies, and hope. And I don't know how much true collaboration is happening, how much true dialogue is happening, honest dialogue about what they're seeing up on the screen. And yeah, it's a business, and they've got to sell tickets, and they got to sell toys, and they want to sell this Warner Brothers superhero DC universe. I get it. So they got to be very, very careful. To be too risky with something might be too much. So maybe that's why he held back. Maybe that's why, I don't know. And someone here said, kids couldn't go and see Superman, the Man of Steel. I don't think kids would have loved that as much as this. You're damn right. But there's a happy medium somewhere, isn't there? Because I kind of like a little bit of Man of Steel. I kind of like the messianic Superman as a messianic character. I kind of liked it a little bit. Him coming here to save us in a way, right? But again, that's just me. Anyways, guys, what do you think? If you had a chance to go and see Superman, if so, let us know what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you think it's just kind of it's an okay movie? It wasn't the worst thing you ever saw, but it certainly was not the best. Let me know or did you absolutely love it? Or did you absolutely hate it? Let us know in the comment section below. We'll keep the dialogue going after the fact. Guys, again, I'll be at the shop this Saturday from 11 until 2 p.m. So if you have any books you want to submit, want me to personally pre-screen, you can come on by the shop on Saturday. I'm there. I'm happy to look over your books. I'm going to be sending out a notice tomorrow for people whose books and orders are complete to come on Saturday. I will not be in the shop the following week. I'll be at San Diego Comic-Con. And there may or may not be a live stream next week. Maybe I'll do a live stream Tuesday from San Diego. Maybe I'll do a walkabout or something like that. We'll see. That's not the easiest thing to do, but perhaps I'll try that. Guys, have a great rest of your week. Remember, again, if you have any books you want to have signed at Fan Expo Canada, Toronto, I need those books in hand by August the 7th. Other than that, my friends, have a fantastic rest of your night, and we'll see you very, very soon right here on the Comic Doctor YouTube channel. Guys, bye for now. Take care.